morning everyone. I hope you're all following the videos, and I'm very glad that you are sending all the homeworks and all the work what I gave you. By doing all those, you are sending to me, and I was very much happy to follow this very seriously. And this lesson what we are discussing, that is the diversity of the living organisms, is a very important lesson. We are learning about how these organisms have been classified. So we already discussed about that, the kingdom Monera as well as the kingdom Protista. That means about bacteria as well as about Protista, that means amoeba, paramecium, euglena, diatoms. So these all we have discussed. That means the unicellular prokaryotic organisms belong to the Monera kingdom. Unicellular eukaryotic organisms are belong to Protista kingdom. And after that, after these two kingdoms, so third one we are going to discuss today, that is kingdom Mycota. Kingdom Mycota, it is exclusively for fungi organisms. Exclusively for fungi. Suppose, for example, you take some bread piece, a small piece of bread, and sprinkle water on that. Leave it the bread piece for 3 to 4 days without disturbance. After the 4th day, in the 5th day, you might be finding that, you can observe that one, you might be finding that a white color layer or a black color layer will be formed on the bread piece. And if you take that bread piece, that black color layer or the white color layer, and see that under the microscope, a compound microscope, you might be seeing this type of structure. This type of structures you might be seeing in that case. These structures, the total bread piece, this is structures you can find it. And it has the one filament, one stalk-like structure, that is filament, and a capsule. And this is nothing but a rhizopus. It is nothing but a rhizopus. Or we can say bread mould. What is this one? Bread. And in the rainy season, you might be seeing in the rainy season, some kind of plants-like structures will be grown in the wet places, which are having the umbrella-type structures on that. Those are nothing but mushrooms, like this. Mushrooms. This is nothing but agaricus, or we can say mushroom. Like this, wherever the wet places are present, or wherever the dead materials are presented, dead pieces are presented, dead bodies of the plants and animals are presented, in such areas you might be finding a kind of organisms are called as fungi. And these are neither chlorophytes, means they neither belong to the plants nor belong to the animals. How can we say that? These are neither plants, because they don't have the chlorophyll, they stay at one place. They don't have the chlorophyll, so they cannot prepare the food. And these are nor animals. Though they cannot prepare the food also, they cannot move from one place to another place. Animal means, remember, according to our biologist, animal means they can move from one place to another place. Those are all comes in the category of animals. And these organisms cannot move, but they cannot prepare the food also. So that's why these are neither animals nor plants. So the Ernest Haeckel, a scientist, told that this organism should have a separate kingdom, and that kingdom is given as name as mycota, exclusively for fungi. Okay, and these are non-chlorophyllous plant-like structures, but not plants, remember, but not animals also. These are separate completely, and they have the umbrella type structure here, and this is called as mycelium. It has the small thread-like projections under that, and these are called as hyphae. And these will be growing everywhere, wherever the wet place is there it will be present. It will be growing, especially in the rainy season. Beginning of the rainy season, ending of the rainy season, you might be finding this kind of structures everywhere. Not only this one, so many different types are there. Some of them are rainbow shaped like this. These are called as aspergillus. And some of them are like hand fan shaped structure will be presented like this. And these are called as penicillium. Penicillium. So these are the different types of organisms, and most of them are saprozoic in nature. That means observative in nature. That means they will be observing the dead and decaying materials as their food materials. Saprozoic nutrition can be shown by these organisms. That means wherever the dead body are presented there these will be growing, and they release some kind of chemicals called as enzymes. These enzymes will convert lysozyme, the enzyme name. These will convert that solid material into liquid material, and that liquefied material can be absorbed by these organisms as a food material. You might be seeing, you might be experienced whenever you are going on the roadside, maybe a dead body of the cat or dog. Slowly it will be giving the bad smell on the road. You might be covering your nose 10 days, 15 days. After that, slowly the bad smell has been gone out, and that area where you have found earlier the dead body of that dog or cat, that area will be completely cleared. Remember, this is nothing but the activity of the bacteria and fungi. The activity of bacteria and fungi, so that these will completely convert the dead material into liquefied material, and those will absorb it. That is this phenomena of converting the dead material into liquid form and absorbing it. This is called as decomposition. The organic material is converting into inorganic form. So that is called as decomposition. So that's why these organisms are also called as decomposers. As they clean the total surrounding, so they are also called as scavengers of the earth. Okay, so these are the very much useful things are there by these organisms. At same time, there are so many harmful. These organisms are harmful. They cause some kind of diseases, which are especially externally. That means the skin diseases will be affected by these organisms. That is the ringworm, red color patches will be occur. The ringworm is because of this organisms. And there are not only harmful fungi, there are useful fungi also there. Suppose agaricus, mushrooms. Mushrooms are very much useful. Nowadays the doctors are advising the people to take the mushrooms instead of meat. Meat is a kind of food material which comes from the animals, that is called as mutton, okay, which comes from the animals, which is very rich of the proteins, but that is a dead material. After the death of the animal, we are taking that material, that mutton. So that is a dead material. So it is very much harmful. It may give the proteins, but it is very much harmful to the human being. So instead of this meat, doctors are suggesting to take the mushrooms as a food material, because these have the lots of proteins in it. So for one example, I tell you, 1 kg of mutton. 1 kg of mutton cost is 800 rupees now. Okay, but if you take the 250 grams of mushroom curry, is just 100 rupees. So if you take the 1 kg of mutton, how much amount of proteins you will get? The same amount of the proteins you will get by taking the 250 grams of mushroom curry. The cost difference you can find it. So you can understand which is better. So mushrooms became, now mushroom culture became the small scale industry. Everywhere they are culturing, and many people are likely to take the mushrooms because we'll get the number of proteins from the mushrooms. Okay, next one you might be seeing here, penicillin. In the 1929, Alexander Fleming, a chemist, accidentally found an antibiotic injection, that is penicillin injection. Penicillin injection, an antibiotic. This antibiotic, the penicillin, has been extracted from the fungal organism called as Penicillium notatum. Penicillium notatum. This is a very good boom to the world, medical world. Whatever the cause of the ill health, that is given only the penicillin injection. Okay, so this way the fungal organs are useful as well as the harmful also. But these are all belong to the Mycota kingdom. It is exclusively for fungal organs. They have the outer coverage. Cellulose will be presented there. Cell wall will be presented here, and outer coverage is there for this. Okay, this is about the kingdom Mycota. We have discussed about kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, and kingdom Mycota. That means about bacteria, about protozoan, that is amoeba, and about fungal organisms. These are all almost microorganisms, and these are all multicellular. Mycota kingdom organisms are completely multicellular organisms. But we have not discussed, and also the scientists have not included the virus. We have got it in the word virus in any of these 5 kingdoms. They are not in any of these 5 kingdoms. Then what about the viruses? We have to learn. They are very, very important. Now you are experiencing that coronavirus. Okay, what about these viruses? Let us discuss about these viruses. bacteria, amoeba, paramecium, euglena, fungi, that is mushrooms, or Penicillium notatum, Aspergillus, Rhizopus, Agaricus, whatever these organisms you take, they have the definite shape, structure, and they have the cell structure especially. Either they may be unicellular organisms or may be multicellular organisms. But whereas viruses are not at all organisms, they are not organisms at all because they don't have the cell structure. Viruses are not organisms, they are entities. They are simply entities. In Greek language, viruses means poison liquid. Viruses means poison liquid in Greek language. They are simply entities. They will be entering into the body and causing illness. And if the viruses are affected to this plants, there is no medicine for that. Simply the plant will be destroyed. And even if the human beings are affected by the viruses like HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, the immune system of the human body will be reduced and finally the person dies. It will lead to a chronic disease called as AIDS. HBV, hepatitis B virus, simply commonly we say that is a jaundice disease. It is very, very dangerous disease. And the people are mostly dying because of this HBV than HIV. It is a survey is telling. And now you are seeing that one, corona. It is also a kind of virus, COVID-19. Coronavirus disease, viral disease 2019, that is the full form. These are all the viruses are not organisms because they don't have the cell structure, they don't have the nucleus, but they have the genetic material. Okay? They don't have the cell structure, and these are neither organisms. That means not organisms at all. But these are neither living organisms nor non-living organisms. When they are outside of any living body, listen, when they are outside of any living body, they are non-living, crystalline in nature. Non-living characteristics will be shown by these viruses. If they are entering into the living body, and immediately their non-living structure will be defined as a living character. It will be adopting the living characters from the living organism and it will be activated and affecting that organism. So that's why that viruses are link between living organisms as well as the non-living things. Let us see one structure. This is a kind of virus. This is called bacteriophage. Because it can affect the bacteria also. This virus can affect the bacteria also. That's why it is called bacteriophage. Viruses are capable to affect the bacteria, the plants, as well as the human beings also. So that's why these are very much dangerous. This is the head. This is the neck. This is body structure. base plate, and these are fibers. They are the parts of this virus. Okay, and this very can be affect the bacteria also. That's why the name is given as the bacteriophage. Okay, and if you take the structure of this virus, in the head portion, it is covered by a thin protein cover. A thin protein cover will be presented on that. Okay, and inside the genetic material is presented, it will be either DNA or RNA. We cannot see that. Either DNA or RNA. That means that a virus can be having some viruses are having the DNA as the genetic material, some viruses are having the RNA as the genetic material. For example, if they are having the RNA as the genetic material, somewhat they are useful to produce the proteins in our body. If they are having the DNA as a genetic material, like HIV virus, HIV virus is having the DNA as a genetic material, and this genetic material, when it is entering into the human body, immediately this DNA will be entering into the human DNA and converting every DNA particle into human DNA. That means the viral DNA will be converted into human DNA, so that the doctors are unable to find the medicine for HIV till today. No medicine for HIV, because the DNA of the HIV will be converting into human DNA. There is an enzyme called as reverse transcriptase. Reverse transcriptase. This is the enzyme which converts the viral DNA into human DNA, so that the people are unable to find the symptoms, and also doctors are unable to find the medicine for HIV. This is the very dangerous thing. So the viruses are neither living organisms nor non-living things. Why? Because these viruses are, when they are out of the living body, they are like non-living things. When they are entering into the inside the living body, they are like living organ. They behave like a living organ. So they are very much dangerous entities. They are not organisms. Remember, viruses are not at all organs. They are simply entities, parasites. What they call? Parasites. The organism which depend on other organisms and kills other organisms. That is called parasite. This is about the viruses. That's why, as virus is entirely different, so the scientists do not include this virus into any other kingdoms. Okay? So we have discussed about the Mycota, Monera, as well as the Protista kingdoms. In the next video, we are going to discuss about the kingdom Plantae. That means about the plants we are going to discuss how they are classified. Okay? Thank you very much.